If you run a business, or you're thinking about starting one, you're going to hit one crucial question. Which products are the winners? Which ones should you double down on? And which ones are just wasting your time? The smart answer is a model called the BCG Growth Share Matrix. It sounds corporate, I know, but trust me, the simple chart, created by the Boston Consulting Group back in the 70s, is still the best way to get a bird's eye view of your business portfolio. It's simple, it's genius, and it works. Let's break down exactly what it is, how it works, and how companies like Apple use it to dominate the market. All right, so let's make this visual. The BCG Matrix is a simple 2x2 grid. On the vertical side, we track market growth, how fast that entire industry is expanding. Is it booming or is it slowing down? On the horizontal side, we track market share. That's your slice of the pie. Are you a big player or a tiny one? Every product, service, or business unit you have can be plotted right onto this chart. And based on which of the four squares it lands in, you'll immediately know the smart financial move. Invest, hold, or cut your losses. This is where you figure out the identity of your products. The four quadrants tell four very different stories. 1. Stars, high growth, high market share. These are your superstars. They are in a fast-growing market, and your product is already crushing it. Stars generate a ton of revenue. But here's the kicker. They also eat up cash. Why? Because if you want to stay number one in a growing market, you have to constantly reinvest in marketing, innovation, and scaling up production. For example, Apple iPhone. It's the face of the company, a massive seller in the ever-evolving smartphone world. Apple spends billions to keep it fresh because that investment keeps its star shining. If they succeed, the market eventually slows down and their star transforms into a cash cow. 2. Cash cows, low growth, high market share. These are your dependable earners. The market is stable, not booming anymore, but your product is so strong and dominant that it brings in steady profits without needing huge investment. A cash cow is your company's financial backbone. They don't need marketing campaigns. They just generate the money that you use to fund your high-growth experiments and new projects. For example, for Apple, it's the MacBook. The personal computer market is mature, but the Mac's brand loyalty and quality guarantee billions in pure profit. It's what allows Apple to keep innovating without worrying about cash flow. 3. Question marks, high growth, low market share. Also known as problem children, these are products in a booming market, but you haven't managed to capture much market share yet. They're the ultimate gamble. They cost a lot to develop and market, but you don't know if they'll ever take off. This is the make or break area. You either invest heavily and try to turn them into a star, or you cut them loose before they drain your resources dry. For example, look at Apple TV+. The streaming war is huge, high growth, but Apple's service is still tiny compared to Netflix. Apple had a choice. Either double down and fight for a bigger slice, or quietly let it stay as a side project. And what did they do? They invested big. Apple poured billions into original shows like Ted Lasso and The Morning Show. They didn't chase quantity like Netflix. They went for quality and prestige. Now, Apple TV Plus still isn't leading the market, but it's carving out a respected space, a premium corner of streaming tied to the Apple ecosystem. It's still a question mark, but one that's starting to show potential. And finally, the dogs. And no, we don't mean the cute kind. These are products that have low sales and are stuck in a stagnant market. They usually drain resources, take up valuable shelf space, and offer little value to the overall business. The main strategy here is simple. Phase them out, cut the cost, free up capital, and move that money to the stars or the promising question marks. For example, the iPod. It revolutionized music, but the market for dedicated music players is virtually dead now. It's no longer a driver of the business, and it's likely kept around mainly for legacy or niche use. It's an old loyal pet, nice to have, but it won't move a needle. Now let's discuss how companies use this matrix. So, the real magic of the BCG Matrix is that it doesn't just label your products, it gives you a financial roadmap for smart decision-making. You invest in your stars because they're your future leaders. Keep feeding them innovation, marketing, and attention so they continue to dominate and one day evolve into reliable cash cows. You milk your cash cows. These are your steady earners. They bring in consistent profits without needing much reinvestment. The money they generate becomes the fuel that powers your entire business, funding new projects, marketing campaigns, and product development. You analyze your question marks very carefully. These are your biggest wild cards. They could become the next iPhone or fade out like an old gadget nobody remembers. You have to watch them closely, experiment, and decide, do they deserve more investment or a graceful exit? And finally, you let go of your dogs. It's not easy, but freeing up money and energy from low-performing products allows you to focus on what truly moves the company forward. In the end, it's all about balance. A healthy company isn't built on just one type of product. It's a mix. You need the cash cows to keep the lights on, the stars to drive excitement and growth, and a few question marks to keep your future alive. That's the beauty of the BCG Matrix. It turns your portfolio into a living, breathing ecosystem where every product has a purpose. Now, let's be honest. The BCG Matrix isn't a crystal ball. It gives you a snapshot, not a prediction. The biggest issue is that it treats every product as if it lives on an island, which is rarely true in the real world. For instance, the iPhone, the Star, directly boost sales of AirPods and the Apple Watch. They are connected in a powerful ecosystem. The Matrix ignores this interconnectedness. So, treat the BCG Matrix as a fantastic starting point for conversation, but never the whole picture. The next time you look at your products or even your personal projects or time commitments, ask yourself this simple question. Is this a star, a cash cow, a question mark, or a dog? Because the true secret of growth isn't just working harder on everything. It's knowing exactly where to focus your time and money. It's about being smart, not just busy. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more business breakdowns. And drop a comment below. What business concept should I explain next? Thanks for watching and keep growing smart.